Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Learn Commerce with Namita. I am Namita Mane. In today's video, let us solve one example of absorption of company. So this is the example on the screen. The balance sheet of Apple Limited, Achalapur, as on 31st March 2020 was as follows. This is the balance sheet as on 31st March 2020 of Apple Limited. So in liabilities, share capital 2000 shares of 100 each. The amount is 2 lakh rupees. General reserves 64,000. Profit and loss 60,000. Bills payable 42,400. Creditors 70,000. And in assets, land and building 1,40,000. Plant and machinery 1,10,000. Then stock 98,000, debtors 42,000, cash at bank 14,400, and advertising expenses 32,000. So this is assets and liabilities of Apple Limited. Now in additional information, it is given that Apple Limited was absorbed by Banana Limited, Belapur, on the following terms. So Apple Limited was absorbed, means absorption was done by Banana Limited. Okay, that means Apple Limited is a selling company and Banana Limited is a purchasing company. The terms and conditions of absorptions are as follow. A. Apple Limited agreed to write off advertising expenses against its own reserves. So first additional information is given that Apple Limited agreed to write off advertising expenses against its own reserves. So general reserves are given, that means advertising expenses 32,000. So out of 64,000 of general reserves, 32,000 will be less. Next, B. Banana Limited reevaluate the assets of Apple Limited as under: land and building 1,50,000, plant and machinery 1,04,000, stock 1,20,000, and debtors at book value. So Banana Limited is a purchasing company. It reevaluate the assets of selling company, that is Apple Limited, as under. Okay, next point is Banana Limited took over the assets and liabilities of Apple Limited and agreed to discharge the purchase consideration in 2,600 shares of 100 each at rupees 110 per share. So that means at premium the shares are being discharged and the remaining balance in cash. Point number D is Apple Limited paid its liquidation expenses of rupees 4,000. So you are required to prepare realization account, Banana Limited account, then bank account and equity shareholders account in the books of Apple Limited. Apple Limited is a selling company, and pass the opening journal entries in the books of Banana Limited. So we have to pass the journal entries in the books of purchasing company. Okay, so this is the example of absorption. I hope you have understood the example. Now let's try to solve this example. So to solve this absorption example, first of all we have to calculate the purchase consideration. Okay, so for purchase consideration we have to take the net assets taken over less liabilities. So now here in this example the assets were reevaluated at the at following amount. Okay, so assets, land and building, plant and machinery, stock and debtors are being reevaluated. So for purchase consideration we will add all the assets and less liabilities, and then we will see how the purchase consideration is discharged. So first assets is land and building. Land and building 1,50,000. Land and building amount is 1,50,000. Then next assets is plant and machinery, 1,04,000. Plant and machinery, 1,04,000. Next stocks, 1,20,000. Stock, 1,20,000. After stock, debtors are at book value. That means what is the value which is given in the balance sheet. So debtors value will be 42,000 and cash at hand 14,400. So these are all assets taken over by Banana Limited. Debtors 42,000 and cash at bank 14,400. So these are all assets are taken. So now add all the assets. So total will be 4,30,400. So this is the total of assets. Total of assets taken over. Okay, so we will mark it as A. Now less liabilities taken over. So now liabilities are liabilities are bills payable 42,400 and creditors 70,000. Okay, so see here, Banana Limited, read the C point. Banana Limited took over the assets and liabilities of Apple Limited. So we took over all the assets which were given in the additional information. Now for liabilities, we have to check the balance sheet of Apple Limited, bills payable and creditors. So less bills payable, 42,400, creditors 70,000. So add the total of liabilities. So total of liabilities will be 42,400 plus 70,000. So total will come 1,12,400. So this is the total of liabilities taken over. That is B. Okay. Now to find purchase consideration, we have to less the total of A and total of B. That means total of assets, total of A minus total of B. That means 4,43,400 less 1,12,400. So total will be 3,18,000. Okay, 3,18,000. This is a purchase consideration. 3,18,000 is a purchase consideration. Okay, I hope you have understood how to calculate purchase consideration. So this is a value. See, first we took all the assets, so we did the total of assets, then reduce the liabilities. Okay, so we get purchase consideration. So 4,30,400 minus 1,12,400, we get 3,18,000. Now this PC is discharge in the form of equity shares and balance in cash. So see, read the point number C, that is B Limited took over the assets and liabilities of Apple Limited, Banana Limited took over the assets and liabilities of Apple Limited and agreed to discharge the purchase consideration in 2,600 shares of rupees 100 each at 110 per share and balance in cash. Okay, so discharge of purchase consideration is done in the form of equity shares and remaining balance in cash. That means 2,600 shares, equity shares, the value of equity share was rupees 100 of rupees 100 at 110 per share. That means 2,600 multiply by 110, we get the, so the amount is 2,86,000. Okay, so that means out of 3,18,000, 2,86,000 is of equity share and remaining is 32,000. This is balance in cash, 32,000. Okay, so now this side if we want to tally, so 2,86,000 plus 32,000, 3,18,000. Okay, so this is the amount of purchase consideration. So both discharge as well as asset taken over, both the figures are tally. Okay, so now we got the amount of purchase consideration. Now next we have to prepare the accounts. Okay, so in the books we have to prepare realization account, Banana Limited account, that is purchasing company account, bank account and shareholders account in the books of Apple Limited, and also we have to pass the journal entries in the books of Banana Limited. Okay, so for absorption, remember one thing, absorption of company, first thing you have to remove the statement or calculation of purchase consideration, and remaining accounts like realization account, purchasing company account, bank account and equity shareholders account you have to prepare as per the requirement of the question. So in this question we have to prepare realization account, equity shareholders account, bank account and Banana Limited account. Okay, so now in the books of A Limited, we will prepare account, realization account. This is the format of realization account: debit side, credit side, particulars and amount. Then next account is equity shareholders account, debit side, credit side. Third account is bank account. So we have to prepare the accounts in this way. And last is Banana account, Banana Limited account, that is purchasing company account. Okay, debit side, credit side, particulars and amount. So now first of all, in realization you have to note down all the assets, okay, all the sundry assets to the debit side and all the sundry liabilities to the credit side. Now here you will, in realization account you will note down all the assets which are given at a book value, that means which are given in the balance sheet of Apple Limited. So this in B point, all the whatever assets are here like land and building, plant and machinery, stock, debtors, these assets are revaluated by whom? By the Banana Limited company, that is purchasing company. But we are making or we are preparing the accounts in the books of Apple Limited, that is selling company. So whatever assets, okay, are there at the book value, you will note down in the debit side of the realization account. So to sundry debtors, sundry assets, sundry asset. First is land and building, land and building, land and building. Value is 1,40,000. 1,40,000. Next is plant and machinery. Plant and machinery. So machinery 1,10,000. Next assets, stock 98,000, debtors 42,000 and cash at hand 14,400. So note down in realization debit side. Stock 98,000, debtors 42,000 and cash 14,400. So all the assets we have recorded in realization debit side. Now to the credit side, you will note down all the sundry liabilities. Sundry liabilities. So liabilities we have in the question, bills payable and creditors. Bills payable is 42,400 and creditors 70,000. Bills payable 42,400, creditors 70,000. Okay, so now next entry in realization will be of purchase consideration. So in credit side of realization, you will write by Banana Limited, that is purchasing company. Okay, name of the purchasing company. This entry is of purchase consideration. Purchase consideration. Amount of purchase consideration is 3,18,000. Okay, so first effect of purchase consideration is given in realization account, credit side. Now in Banana Limited, okay, in Banana Limited account, so second effect of purchase consideration will be to realization account. To realization account, this amount is of purchase consideration. Purchase consideration 3,18,000. Okay, so first effect of this PC means purchase consideration is given in the realization credit side, that is by Banana Limited, purchase consideration 3,18,000, and second effect of this entry we have to post in purchasing company, that is Banana Limited account, in debit side, that is to realization account, purchase consideration amount, that is 3,18,000. Okay, now next entry in realization account in debit side will be the cost of liquidation. Okay, that means the liquidation expenses. So see, A Limited paid its liquidation expenses of rupees 4,000. So this entry will come in realization account, debit side. This will be of to bank account debit 4,000. Reason liquidation expenses. Liquidation expenses. Liquidation expenses. Now liquidation expenses first effect we have wrote down in realization debit side. Second effect will come in bank account, in bank account by realization account. By realization account. Reason liquidation expenses. Liquidation expenses. Expenses 4,000. Okay, so first effect of adjustment number D, that is Apple Limited paid its liquidation expenses 4,000. So first effect in realization account debit side, and second effect in bank account credit side by realization expenses 4,000. Okay, now all the accounts we will close at the end. Okay, now next we have to prepare equity shareholders account. So now in equity shareholders account, first you will note down the equity share capital which is given in the question. That is share capital of how many shares? 2,000 shares of 10 each, that is 2 lakh. So this will come in by equity share capital, by equity share capital 2 lakh rupees. Okay, now after this you will note down the general reserves, that is 64,000 in equity share account and profit and loss account 60,000. Now in general, if we are posting general reserve in equity share account, there is adjustment. Okay, that is Apple Limited agreed to write off advertising expenses from against its own reserve. So general reserves are its own reserve. So reduce the advertisement expenses from general reserve. Advertisement expenses is 32,000. So here you will write by general reserve 64,000. Okay, less advertising expenses 32,000. So remaining write in the remaining 64,000 minus 64,000 minus 32,000 will be remaining, right in outer column. Okay, and next entry will be by profit and loss. By profit and loss. So profit and loss is 60,000. Note down in equity share capital account 60,000. Okay, next, now here in credits in debit side. Okay, so this 2 lakh rupees of share capital was of 2,000 share. Okay, but the discharge of PC was done at 2,600 shares at rupees what 110. So this entry will come in equity share account debit side. To equity shares in Banana Limited, in Banana Limited, so equity shares were 2600 shares at rupees 110 per share. So amount is 2,86,000. Okay, so first effect of this equity shares in Banana Limited 2600, we wrote down in debit side of equity share capital. The second effect of this entry will come in Banana Limited account credit side. It will be buy equity shares in Banana Limited 2600 at rupees 110. So amount will be 2,86,000. Okay. So now closing of equity share account we will do at the end. Now in bank account. Okay, now in bank account the discharge of PC was done in the form of equity shares. So entry of this equity shares we already did. First effect in equity share account, and second effect in Banana Limited credit side. Okay, now this 32,000 is the balance which is in cash. Okay, so now this entry we will do in bank account. Okay, debit side, that will be to Banana Limited, that is PC. Okay, PC in cash. So that is 32,000. Okay, so first effect of this amount of 32,000 which is in balance in cash we note down in bank account. Second effect we have to do in Banana Limited account. So that will be by bank account 32,000. Okay, 32,000. Clear? So first effect here and second effect in Banana account. In Banana Limited account 32,000. Clear? So now here all the entries, okay, as per the question we have note down. Like we have in realization account we note down all the assets, okay, and advertisement expenses we reduced from general reserve. All the assets were valued of Apple Limited. We took all these assets to calculate the purchase consideration. We did the discharge of purchase consideration, as well as we posted the liquidation expenses account expenses amount also. Okay, now let's close the this thing, realization account. Okay, so now if we calculate realization amount, let's check whether it is profit on realization or loss on realization. So total of credit side is 3,18,000 plus 70,000 plus 42,400. Okay, that is the total of credit side is 4,30,400. So total is 4,30,400. Okay, now check the amount of debit side. So total of debit side will be 4,08,400. That means debit side is less. That means we get the profit on realization. So the difference between the debit and credit side, okay, difference between credit side and debit side will be what? 22,000. Okay, that is what our profit on realization. Why? Because credit side is more than debit side. So this profit on realization is to be transferred to equity share account, okay, to equity share holders account. So here we will write to equity share holders account, that is 22,000, okay, and this 22,000 is nothing but profit on realization, profit on realization, okay. So this profit on realization is to be transferred to equity share account, that will be here to the credit side. See here, if once we are debiting, so other account will be credited. So here will be by realization account, that is 22,000. So this reason for this entry is what? Profit on realization, profit on realization. Now close the account of close the account of equity shareholders. So 2 lakh plus 32,000 plus 60,000 plus 22,000, okay. So so the total will be 3,14,000, okay, and here the balance will be carried to bank account. So difference between debit side and credit side is how much? 28,000. So debit side is less, so write down here to bank. This 28,000 is nothing but the balancing figure, okay. So this is balancing figure, okay, and this is to be transferred to bank account. So here we the difference we note down in debit side of equity share account. Now transfer this 28,000 to bank account credit side, that will be by equity share account 28,000, okay. So 4,000 plus 28,000 is total is 32,000. Here the debit side is also 32,000, so both the side are tally. Now remaining we will close. Now next, after bank account, close the purchasing company account, that is Banana Limited account. So 2,86,000 plus 32,000, so total will be 3,18,000. So credit side amount is 3,18,000, debit side amount is 3,18,000. So here all the accounts of realization, equity shareholder, as well as bank account and Banana Limited account, all the accounts are tallied. So here in this way you have to prepare the accounts, okay. So in absorption, first of all you have to prepare calculation of purchase consideration, and afterwards you have to prepare realization account, okay, equity share account and bank account and Banana Limited account, okay. So now what is remaining? So we have prepared all the accounts as per the question. Now next we have to prepare what? We have to pass the open journal entries in the books of Banana Limited. So here in this way you have to pass the journal entries, okay. How you have prepared the ledgers, okay, in same way you have to pass the journal entries of purchase consideration, then realized assets, then how the equity shareholders were discharged, okay. So here see, first entry Okay, so we have to pass the journal entries in the books of Banana Limited. So first is business purchase. Okay, that means purchase consideration account debit 3,18,000 to liquidators of A Limited company, because A Limited is the selling company. Narration will be what? Being the amount of purchase consideration payable to A Limited, Apple Limited on purchase of the business. Next we have realized the assets. Okay, so assets were realized or revalued by Banana Limited. Okay, so land and building, then plant and machinery, stock, debtors, bank account, to bills payable, creditors, and purchase consideration. Okay, so basically these are the entries which were given in the realization account. Afterwards, how this purchase consideration was discharged. So liquidators or liquidator of Apple Limited company purchase consideration amount, then equity share capital. Okay, so this share capital 2,60,000 means what? The equity share were discharged how much for this thing? Were discharged for on 2,600 shares of how much? Rupees 100. So this is what? This amount to equity share capital 2,60,000 means 2,600 multiplied by 100, we get 2,60,000. And to premium share account. Okay, to share premium account means extra 10 rupees were the premium. So total on 2,60,000 on 2,600 extra you were paying 26,000, and to bank we gave the balancing figure is 32,000. Okay, so in this way you have to pass the journal entries in the books of Banana Limited. Okay, so here we completed this example of Apple Limited and Banana Limited. I hope you have understood how to solve the absorption of companies example. Thank you. Please subscribe my YouTube channel, like and share the video, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the latest notification.